Hello guys, in this video we are gonna look at how to simply control the edges on the GeoNodes to create instance on it, how to add the crease value to the node tree and align those instances on run objects. In this case I use it to create the battlement of the wall and has a detail to divide each material zone. The bonus tip of today will be how to create this wet look on granite for Eevee and cycles. So as you can see, on the spreadsheet, we have the crease value. I will disable the viewport visualization for the geometry node. And is this here? You can modify the crease value from the transform panel or we have this value present on the spreadsheet for each edge, as you can see, but we don't have any node to use that value. So the first thing that we need to create is the input to use that value. And how we can add it. The first is use the group input node. I will create a new one. I have this value, this input field created, but I can put it another now. We can use capture attribute, in this case is float, and we connect. This will be value now and is present here too. For this, we can change here crease is a float number, so it's okay. The type float. We hide, and here there is the icon of the spreadsheet. You can click and select crease. And now you can use the crease value of the spreadsheet of every edge to use selection to instance geometry after on it. The first thing that I will create is this border to divide the brick material from the wood material, the painted wood, and as you can see, it's pretty simple to use. So now I will delete the crease value because I have it from before, and we will use first. I will create again to show you. First, we need the separate geometry node. In this case, what it does is to extract its edge, but which edge? For that, we use this compare. You can search it as compare. Float is okay, and we use on A the geometry here. And the value in this case, for this, I'm using 0.10. So here we can select equal. Point 10 is the same. 0.100 is the real number here, and the epsilon, remember, is like the threshold here. So 0.9 is okay, and we will use as selection. Now this I will cut here and I will connect. So now these edges are separated from the geometry, and we will use to convert this edge to a curve. So now we can use mesh to curve, and after we can convert to mesh again, curve to mesh. On the profile curve, we can use any curve primitive or a custom curve. In this case, I will use a quadrilateral. We fill on profile, fill gaps. Now this is very big, and we make it smaller. It's pretty. After I will set material to assign a material to this, and I have already my material grade, rock granite in this case. So for this border is super fast to do, and if I want to create a border here, I can raise the value and I can create it. So I will make this bigger. So this is the fast way to select each edge and assign, in this case, a transformation with through the curve nodes. The battlement node is easy to do, so not so difficult. So in this case, we have same. I will try to reproduce for you. First node, group input is I use several group input because of the order. We will use separate geometry and split edge. Separate geometry. For selection, we will use compare, increase, and equal selection. We are using the normal value too because I want to spawn the geometry on the edge that are pointing C up. So I will use the normal of the face in this case, of the points, the correct meaning. Another Boolean math here, and normal. This is a vector value, so perfect. Vector value, I'm using the up one in positive and epsilon almost up. 0.1. So the way to combine this Boolean math, we'll keep this bigger, is in this case using AND. There are two reasons that needs to be completed or be true to do the separation and the selection. In this case, I'm using the capture attribute node. In this case, I have separated. I don't know why I made that, but it's the same. And I used it from before. This now is not necessary. Only this. Separate geometry, split edge as the last video is optional. You can, I think for aesthetic is better, but it's optional too. Mesh to curve. In this case, we are using curve to points. And now instance on point. Points. Oh. So now with this selection and with this node, we are separating these edges. with mesh to curve, we are converting this on a curve, and with this node, we are creating points on each edge. Now we will create the instance on these points. This is a collection info battlement. You can drag it to from the outliner. We create the instance here. I will connect. Now this is pretty big. I having an issue because I didn't put this here. So in my previous node, I used 1 and epsilon 0.4. So I will do the same. 0.4. 1 90. Okay. Also, the instance are not appearing because I didn't change this. I want to separate the edge, not the points. So now they're pretty big, and we can adjust the scale. In this case, I will use something like that, maybe big 360, like more. And you have two options. You can use the curve to points on length, on count. In this case, I want to use length because this will fix the separation between each instance. On count, this will try to put 10 in this case, sorry, in every edge. Here 10 and here 10. In case we want to use length and adjust the value. In this case, something like this. I think it's the same from my previous node. Yes. We will separate children, and we want to select a different instance, so we can use the random value, same as the last video. Instance integer, instance index. In this case, for this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So min 0, max 3 in this case because it's counting from 0. There is not too much variation, so it's almost the same. After this, the spawn point will depend of the origin. In this case, the origin is outside, but you can fix it with a set position. And go down on C. If you see this kind of error, is probably because you are not picking instance, so they are all the collection for elements on the same spot. So this is pretty important to mark. And now, if you put this, the node will select each instance as expected. So set position, and the other is the set shade smooth if you want to use a smooth shading. This always is optional, and you can select. And now we have this problem on the round object. It's not aligned. So the way to fix this is We'll make more space here. We will create the align Euler to vector node. Yes. And I will use the tangent of the curve on vector and rotation. And now this is fixed. The battlement is on the place, and this is what is happening if you mute the split edge. The tangent of the curve here will be curving, so is will modify the direction of the rotation. So for me, I want to have the split edge activated. So now the next thing is to add the details on the roof, more or less the aspect, but this whole for the paddle. Control J, F2, supplement, and you can just far away and see. The roof decoration is fast to do, more or less like before. We are using the normal, so group input, geometry. We will use mesh to points. The selection will be with the normal of this, of any part of the system, with a compare node, normal, sorry, this vector, normal, equal, and point. Okay. This is our selection and mesh to point. Sorry, instance on point. In this case, I have to make from before the roof decoration, so I can drag it. Collection on instance. I will now with this join, the roof decoration appear on the screen, but we have to on the battlement because these edges are pointing to the up. So was forgetting this. We can do another Boolean math operation, and we can use the crease value. And in this case, we is not and we are subtracting. So now, if you want to take this, you can use the crease value. We reduce because of our selection. On point 10, this will create the edge, and if we go to the absolute 0 case, we'll create the decoration. So you can have almost an infinite numbers of possibility over the edge using this kind of selection with the crease value and the normals. have both options to do it. Also, this is a little bit high, so we can. Okay, I will merge center. This is the node for the roof decoration. If you want to screen capture, these numbers are will depend of your node tree and what you want to achieve at the same with the scale. This is the node for the battlement, and this is the node for the border. I also forgot to mention in the last video that we can add a random value when rotating the instance here on the roof tile. In case if you want to do a little bit more, to have more variation on the roof tile, you can put a random value on vector and on rotate instance on a second node. Because if you put here, could be tricky. In this way, it's easier to control. And now for the bonus tip of this lesson, I will show you how to create the wet floor on this granite material. So this is my material with the textures, the albedo, the roughness, the normal. For the wet floor, I use a noise texture with the column ramp to create more contrast and mix it in this node. With the roughness, I'm discarding, deleting the roughness of the image, and I'm using this node 2 as a factor for the strength of the normal map. You can see. If you don't use the strength on the normal, this is the other effect, and it's like a shallow water, but I want more water, so I put this, and now it's looking better. Okay guys, like and subscribe if you want to see the next lesson. I will prepare it, and I think the next lesson will be the windows and the wood panels for the walls. See you later and have fun. Thanks for watching.